Let's get one thing straight: when society collapses, nobody's coming to save you. Not the government, not your neighbor, not that overhyped $500 survival kit. You want to know what really keeps you alive? A tube of super glue that seals a bleeding wound when there's no hospital. A $20 gas can sitting in your garage when the pumps are dry. A handful of zip ties that lock down your gear or secure a busted pack in the middle of the night. It's not flashy gear, it's the forgotten stuff. The cheap, quiet items that do the job when everything else fails. And if you don't have these things when the system crashes, you're not in survival mode, you're in desperation. When the world gets ugly fast, you don't rise to the level of your budget, you fall to the level of your preparation. And the truth is, real survival isn't built on expensive gear. It's built on cheap, brutal efficiency. You think people were panic buying $300 tactical flashlights in the last collapse? Nope. They were fighting over duct tape, trash bags, bottles of gas, and a freaking roll of zip ties. These are the things that disappear first, not because they're fancy, but because they work. And if you wait until shelves are empty and society's already slipping, you're not prepping, you're praying. That's why today, I'm giving you 9 cheap survival tools that could literally save your life when it all goes sideways. We're talking about real-world items, stuff you've seen, stuff you might already have. But after this video, you'll never look at them the same way again. Number 1. Superglue. You see a tiny tube of superglue. I see an emergency tool that could prevent serious blood loss when no ambulance is coming. In a complete collapse scenario, hospitals aren't guaranteed to help. They might be overwhelmed, offline, or unreachable. That $2 tube in your drawer transforms into emergency first aid in your pocket. Let's clarify first. Superglue's key ingredient, cyanoacrylate, was developed for medical use during the Vietnam War. Combat medics relied on medical-grade cyanoacrylate adhesives to rapidly seal battlefield wounds when traditional sutures weren't available. Today, similar medical adhesives like Dermabond are routinely used by hospitals and emergency rooms worldwide. However, commercial superglue isn't identical to medical-grade adhesive. It typically includes additives that might cause minor skin irritation. But here's the reality. In a survival emergency, where professional medical care isn't accessible, a standard tube of superglue can effectively stop bleeding from superficial or moderate cuts, significantly reducing infection risk and buying you crucial time until proper medical attention becomes available. Imagine slicing your palm open, chopping firewood, or sustaining a deep cut while moving debris. A quick squeeze of glue along clean, dry skin edges, pressing them together firmly, and within seconds bleeding significantly slows or stops completely. You're back to functioning, clear-headed, and moving towards safety rather than panicking from uncontrolled blood loss. Besides medical uses, superglue is an all-around survival multi-purpose hero, patching a cracked water bottle, reinforcing a loose knife handle, repairing broken eyeglasses, resealing waterproof boots, or even silencing squeaky gear hinges. These practical fixes are life-saving in situations where replacements aren't coming anytime soon. Here's something crucial. The glue dries rapidly once opened, usually within days. Many preppers overlook this fact, mistakenly believing one tube is enough. It isn't. Always carry multiple small tubes dispersed across your survival gear. Small gel tubes are ideal. They're easier to apply precisely and remain effective longer. Stat check. During COVID-19 lockdowns, consumer demand for superglue surged over 60%, reflecting widespread DIY repairs and emergency preparedness. If supply chains collapse, small, versatile tools like these vanish quickly from shelves, emphasizing the importance of stocking up proactively. Your prep tip. Keep 610 mini tubes, multi-packs, on hand in your first aid kit, clearly labeled, for medical use only, another in your vehicle, your bug-out bag, and extras at home. Always clean wounds thoroughly before applying glue to avoid trapping contaminants and increasing infection risks. This isn't just superglue, it's your portable trauma response. Used wisely and responsibly, this simple tool could be the difference between chaos and calm, panic and preparedness, or, in extreme situations, survival itself. Number 2. Gasoline, stored in metal cans. Most people don't realize this, but the second society collapses, gas becomes currency. Not crypto, not gold. Fuel. You've got food, gear, and a plan, but if your car doesn't move, you're stuck. And if you think gas stations will still be working after the grid fails or the riots start, you're dreaming. Here's what actually happens. Power goes out, fuel pumps stop working. Panic starts. Gas lines wrap around blocks. Within 24 hours, empty stations, armed guards, and desperation. In 2005, during Hurricane Katrina, gas in New Orleans was selling on the street for $15 per gallon and people paid it. Because gas doesn't just move your car, it powers your generator. It boils your water, it keeps your lights on, and in winter, it keeps you alive. Now let's talk storage. You don't need 1,000 gallons or a bunker-sized tank. You need metal jerry cans, stored safely outside your living area, rotated every 4-6 months with fuel stabilizer mixed in. Forget those plastic red cans that melt in the sun and leak fumes. You want solid, military-style cans with a locking cap, something that won't tip over, rust out, or burst if it gets knocked. And don't just store the gas, know how to use it. Do you have a siphon pump? Do you know how much fuel your vehicle burns per mile? How long does your generator last for 1 gallon? That knowledge is survival math. Stat check. In the first 72 hours of the Colonial Pipeline cyber attack in 2021, gas shortages hit 12 states. Some stations ran dry within 6 hours of the alert going public. That wasn't during a war. That was one cyber hit. Now imagine a full collapse. Imagine trying to bug out, and every station on your route is empty. That little stash in your backyard? It just became a lifeline. Your prep tip: keep 10-15 gallons minimum, stored in 5-gallon metal cans with stabilizer. Rotate every few months. Know how to siphon, pour, and transfer safely. Store gloves, a funnel, and a siphon kit right next to it. Because when things go dark and you need to move, you don't need a plan, you need gas. Number 3, zip ties. If duct tape is the king of quick fixes, zip ties are its silent assassin. Cheap, lightweight, brutally effective. In a collapsed society, when time, tools, and safety are in short supply, zip ties become the ultimate fast-action survival hack. Let's get real: your gear breaks, your bag rips, your tent frame shifts, or you need to improvise security. What's going to hold it all together in 5 seconds flat? Not a wrench, not a paracord. It's that tiny plastic strip you bought in bulk and forgot about. Zip ties don't need knots. They don't loosen under stress. And once they're locked, they're locked. You need them to. Strap gear to your pack. Reinforce a splintered tent pole. Tie down a loose tarp or poncho. Seal off a bug-out bag zipper. Lock drawers or compartments closed. Even bind an intruder if it ever gets that real. You think that's a stretch? Ask any military vet or cop. Zip ties have been used as field restraints for years. They're fast, quiet, and disposable. And they work. Stat check. During the 2020 protests and riots across U.S. cities, hardware stores saw a massive spike in zip tie sales. Not for electrical work, but for securing gates, reinforcing doors, and makeshift barriers. People weren't thinking about power cords. They were thinking about survival. And here's what makes zip ties special. They're not flashy, they're not expensive, but their function: packed and ridiculously portable. Slide 20-30 of them into a Ziploc, stash them in every pack, every drawer, every glove box. They take up no space, weigh nothing, and offer pure utility. Now, don't just buy the tiny cable management kind. Go for multi-size packs. 4 for small tasks, 8-10 for general gear, 14+ heavy-duty for restraints or structural support. Get the black UV-resistant ones. They don't degrade in the sun, and they're less visible at night. Your prep tip: buy a bulk pack, at least 100 mixed sizes. Store them flat and dry. Add a small cutting tool nearby. You'll need it if you ever need to remove them in a hurry. Also, test your zip ties before showtime. Nothing worse than grabbing gear that snaps under pressure, because when chaos erupts and time is not on your side, you don't need a toolbox. You need zip ties. Number 4, safety pins. You might laugh at a safety pin until the day it holds your survival together. These tiny, cheap little clips, they're not just for hemming pants. In a real collapse scenario, safety pins become field tools, medical gear, even tactical backups. Let's break it down. Your jacket rips during a storm. Your shoelace snaps on a 10-mile walk. Your backpack strap starts to fray under load. You're not reaching for a sewing machine. You're grabbing a safety pin and, within seconds, you're moving again. But that's just surface-level stuff. These little tools shine when things get serious. In first aid, safety pins can closs, secure bandages or splints, closs, hold gauze in place, even improvise a sling anchor using a bandana. And yes, they've been used to remove splinters, fish hooks, even sew wounds in absolute worst-case situations. Have you ever had a zipper blow out mid-bug out? Clip 3 safety pins in a row and you've got an improvised zipper track that'll keep your gear shut until you make it home to your camp. Now here's where it gets tactical. Safety pins can set traps, trigger alarms, or anchor fishing lines in DIY setups. You bend one slightly, set it on a pressure plate, and boom, you've got a noise tripwire system. Primitive? Yes. But when you're on edge and every sound matters, it's an edge you want. Stat check. During the Syrian refugee crisis, aid workers documented that safety pins were one of the most requested non-food items in camps. People needed them to fix clothes, seal bags, and handle minor injuries daily. They weren't asking for tech. They were asking for tools that work simple, cheap, and effective. And they cost what, $5 for 100? You throw 10 in a bag and forget about them. But the day your strap tears or you need to pin a tarp corner to your jacket sleeve while walking in the rain, you'll remember real quick how valuable they are. Your prep tip. Stock at least 30-50 safety pins in a mix of small, medium, and large sizes. Store some in your first aid kit, sewing kit, EDC pouch, and bug-out bag. Keep a few pre-attached to your pack straps or jacket interior. They're invisible until you need them. Because when you need to secure, improvise, or patch on the fly, a safety pin isn't just convenient, it's a clutch. Number 5. Trash bags. Contractor grade. If you're still thinking trash bags are just for trash, you're not thinking like a survivor. When the grid fails and society gets ugly, a roll of contractor-grade black trash bags becomes one of the most versatile survival tools you'll ever own. Lightweight, compact, and dirt cheap but capable of solving 10 different problems when the world goes sideways. We're not talking about those flimsy kitchen bags that rip when you sneeze. We're talking thick, 3mm plastic contractor bags, the kind that can carry bricks, hold water, or keep you dry in a downpour. Let's start with shelter. Caught in a sudden storm? Cut a head hole and 2 armholes, you've got an instant poncho. Layer 2 over your sleeping bag and you've got rain protection and body heat insulation in one shot. Need a toilet? Line a 5-gallon bucket, add some sawdust or kitty litter, and boom, portable waste system. Sanitation is survival, especially when plumbing's gone. What about collecting water? Shape one into a basin to catch rain. Fill another with snow and set it in the sun to melt. Even use them to line holes or create improvised water bladders. And storage? Trash bags can hold gear, food, clothes, firewood, anything you want to keep dry and transport clean. Stat check. During Hurricane Harvey, relief groups and shelters listed heavy-duty trash bags as one of their most in-demand items, right alongside food and water. Why? Because they were using them for everything from hygiene to sleeping insulation to body transport. No joke. In a collapse, you'll use them to block windows, blackout flashlights, pay, signal with contras, wrap wounds, patch leaks, create wind barriers, all from something that costs less than $1 per bag when bought in bulk. Your prep tip. Stock at least 20 contractor, grade black bags 3mm or thicker. Fold flat, vacuum seal if possible, and stash them in every major kit. Don't forget one in your car and bug-out bag. Label them with a Sharpie. Pre-cut one into strips. Pre-roll one with duct tape inside for emergency deployment. Because when the rain's coming down, the gear's getting wet, and you've got no backup, you don't need fancy fabric. You need plastic that holds. Number 6. Whistle. It weighs nothing, fits on your keychain, and costs less than a cup of coffee, but when things go wrong, a whistle can shout louder than you ever could. In a full collapse, you won't always have your voice, your phone, or your signal, but you will have sound, and a whistle turns that sound into a tool for survival. Let's start with the obvious. Getting found. Lost in the woods? Trapped under rubble? Separated from your crew? 3 whistle blasts is a universal distress call. No batteries, no network. Just breath and plastic. And here's the kicker. A whistle's sound travels up to 1 mile in open terrain, way farther than a human scream. But it's not just about rescue. It's about control. Need to alert your team during a night op? Signal a group to freeze or regroup in a crowd? Startle a wild animal creeping too close? That shrill, piercing blast cuts through noise, fear, and fog like a razor. Ever tried yelling with a dry throat in cold air after running 500 yards? You'll last maybe 10 seconds. But a whistle? It never cracks, never tires, and never fails. Stat check. After the 2010 Haiti earthquake, humanitarian teams began distributing whistles with every emergency kit because people buried under collapsed buildings couldn't yell long enough to be heard. 1 whistle, 1 breath saved lives. Now let's talk stealth. In grid-down conditions, you may not want to yell. A whistle lets you communicate silently but sharply with preset signals your team understands. 1 blast equals stop, 2 equals regroup, 3 equals danger. Simple, effective, life-saving. Bonus uses: startle intruders or looters, scare away stray dogs, signal during fire evacuations, keep kids safe in crowds or travel zones. Your prep tip: buy a metal or high-durability plastic whistle with a key ring or neck lanyard. Avoid cheap toy versions, they break when it matters. Keep 1 clip to your bug-out bag, 1 on your house keys, and 1 inside your vehicle. Run drills. Teach your family the signals. Because when you can't yell and help isn't coming, your whistle becomes your voice. And in a world full of noise and chaos, sometimes the sharpest sound is survival. Number 7. Duct tape. If you only had 1 tool to fix, seal, patch, and improvisate, better be duct tape. This isn't just the handyman's go-to. In a collapse scenario, duct tape becomes your survival utility belt. 1 roll, dozens of uses, and the power to hold your gear, your shelter, and even your body together when things fall apart. Let's start with field repairs. Your backpack rips halfway through a bug out? Your tent pole snaps? Your shoe sole separates during a storm? Wrap, seal, reinforce, move on. Duct tape sticks to nearly any surface, holds strong under pressure, and takes seconds to apply. No tools, no noise, no nonsense. But here's where it gets next level. First aid. Out of bandages? Wrap gauze and secure it with duct tape. Need a splint? Stick 2 sticks to a broken finger and tape it tight. Blister tearing open mid-hike? Cut a patch of tape, slap it on, and keep walking. And if you've ever dealt with a leaking container or cracked water bottle, duct tape buys you time. Clean the surface, dry it out, wrap tight. It won't last forever, but it'll get you through the next 24 hours. Stat check. After Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast in 2012, emergency supply stores saw duct tape sales jump by over 300% in less than a week. People used it to patch roofs, secure tarps, seal food bins, and even hold together split water lines until help arrived. And in urban survival, duct tape has been used to seal vents against smoke, cover windows during riots, even trap doors with noise alarms by connecting it to glass or bells. It's not gear. It's tactical flexibility in a roll. Bonus uses: seal up food containers, create cordage in a pinch, make fly traps or trail markers, reinforce grip on tools, build emergency sheaths for blades. Your prep tip: stock 3-5 full rolls of heavy-duty duct tape. Go for weather-resistant Types Knot, the bargain brand that peels when it's humid. Wrap a few feet around your water bottle, flashlight, or lighter so you've always got some on you, because in a crisis, things breakfast. And when you don't have time to rebuild, you reach for the one thing that holds it all together. Number 8. Headlamp. Flashlights are fine until you need both hands to survive. That's where a headlamp wins every time. When society collapses and the power grid fails, light becomes more than convenience. It becomes safety. And when you're cooking, fixing, climbing, defending, or evacuating in the dark, you don't have a spare hand to hold a flashlight. A headlamp gives you 360 degrees mobility and full use of both hands while keeping your field of view lit at all times. It's a tactical advantage most people overlook until it's pitch black and they're fumbling with a flashlight in their mouth. Here's the difference. A flashlight lights up where you point it. A headlamp lights up where you look. That's not a gimmick. That's control. Imagine bugging out through the woods, fixing a generator at night, or checking your perimeter during a blackout. A headlamp makes every one of those tasks easier, faster, and safer. No drop risks. No weird angles. Just clean, hands-free illumination wherever your eyes go. It also conserves energy. You're not constantly switching grip, wasting time, or lighting the wrong area. Most quality headlamps come with multiple brightness settings, red light mode for night ops, and long battery life features that make a huge difference in grid-down conditions. Stat check. After the 2011 Japan tsunami, headlamps became one of the most requested items in disaster relief shelters. Survivors were navigating debris fields, blacked-out shelters, and night rescues, many with both hands full. Hands-free lighting became the difference between operating and panicking. Headlamps are also lighter and more compact than most flashlights. Many run on just 1 or 2 AA or AAA batteries, and some are USB rechargeable, meaning they pair perfectly with solar banks or hand-crank chargers. Your prep tip: keep one headlamp in every major kithome, car, bug-out bag. Add a backup set of batteries and test it monthly. Go for water-resistant models with tilt adjustment and a red light mode. The red light is key. It preserves night vision, signals without drawing attention, and doesn't blind your teammates. You don't want to be the guy tripping over roots in the dark, dropping tools, or blinding your crew with a handheld beam. Because when the sun's down, the grid's off, and your hands are full, your headlamp isn't just light, it's leadership strapped to your forehead. Number 9. Baking soda. It's not flashy, it's not tactical, but in a survival scenario, baking soda becomes one of the most powerful and overlooked tools in your entire stash. At first glance, it's just a kitchen staple. But when society collapses, baking soda turns into your personal hygiene kit, cleaning agent, fire suppressor, and even first aid tool all in one small, dirt-cheap box. Let's start with hygiene. No toothpaste? No problem. Mix baking soda with a little water and brush it scrubs plaque, neutralizes bad breath, and keeps your teeth from turning into a biohazard. No deodorant? Dab it under your arms to absorb sweat and kill odor. Need a dry shampoo? Dust it into your scalp to absorb oil. Now shift to cleaning. Mix baking soda with water or vinegar, and you've got a powerful cleaner for dishes, surfaces, even clothing. It cuts grease, neutralizes odors, and disinfects gear when soap runs out. Got stomach issues? Baking soda is a known remedy for heartburn and indigestion. Just half a teaspoon in a glass of water can help settle your gout, especially important when your diet gets rough or water sources are questionable. Stat check. During extended power outages like the Texas freeze of 2021, stores saw baking soda vanish from shelves not just for cooking, but for hygiene, odor control, and water-safe cleaning when plumbing stopped working. It even helps in emergencies. Sprinkle it on small grease fires to suppress flames. It won't replace a fire extinguisher, but it'll buy you time. And for wounds or insect stings, it can help reduce itch and irritation when applied as a paste. And the best part? It lasts forever when stored dry. No expiration, no special care. Just keep it sealed and safe from moisture. Your prep tip: stock at least 3 to 5 boxes of baking soda per person. Vacuum seal a few small bags for go kits and bug out bags. Keep a scoop or spoon with each stash. Label clearly and rotate between hygiene, food, and cleaning uses. Because when soap's gone, toothpaste runs out, and fires start in places they shouldn't, your $1 box of baking soda isn't just practical. It's survival science in powder form. Let's be real. When it all goes down, no one's handing out extra chances. You won't have time to scroll back through videos or hit rewind. Either you have what you need or you become someone who didn't make it. You think these 9 items were just cheap gear? Nah, they're power moves, quiet advantages, the kind of stuff that separates the ones who walk out from the ones who get left behind. So ask yourself, do you want to be the one begging for batteries or the one already 2 steps ahead while the rest of the world's catching up? Because if you waited for permission to get serious, this was it. Hit that subscribe button right now, because next week, we're dropping the next list of forgotten tools that'll disappear the second the world blinks. And if you missed that video, good luck finding what's already gone. Subscribe now, or get ready to fight the crowd later.